Hello everybody, and in today's video I thought I'd take a look at the new winged Tyranid Prime model that was just revealed on the community site, and I thought I'd just analyze it, see what I like, maybe see what makes it tick, what makes it interesting, maybe, or what I would change about it. So whenever analyzing a picture you want to learn from, I find that it's good practice to really try to look at the image from different perspectives. So for instance, try to see what it looks like in grayscale so that we can get how the values read without color, and then maybe try pixelating the image so you can see kind of just the big picture shapes without the little details kind of interfering with your vision. And then I also like to kind of get a look at the value breakdown, or like get little swatches of the colors and see what percentage of the image or the model that they take up. So as we can see, most of the model is kind of like this creamy bone color, and then there's some magentas, some fleshy tones, and then some kind of darker kind of teal colors, and then some kind of darker reds, pinks. And in doing so, I can kind of see just what they're going for with this composition. It's mostly this lighter color, and then some darker color for contrast, and then some accents of reds and magentas, it looks like. And then I like to take a look at guiding lines, see where how the guiding lines interact, and how I think it's interesting that all the guiding lines are in one direction, and then kind of the head carapace is kind of in the opposite, so it's kind of like a focal point in that sense. And also notice that there's these nice gradients on the wings that really there's these nice gradients on the wings that really add a lot of visual interest. Like you can see it's going in this direction, and then the membranes are going in this direction, and then I take note of that, and then I think about what the focal point is and what the center of interest is, and I think in this case it would definitely be the face and probably the hands, because we as people are generally drawn to faces, hands. They're very important to us in terms of like conveying emotion, the intent of someone. We're also drawn to like text, things like that. And that's center of interest. So that's what your mind is drawn to, is like the center of interest, whereas a focal point is just where the most kind of contrast is. It's where your eye is drawn to, and then center of interest is where your mind is drawn to. So I think in this instance, it would be the face and the hands. All right, so what I would change. So I think the only thing I change would be just like in the face area. I feel like there could be more contrast, and I feel like what I did was I added some gradients from the top of this little carapace on his head, and then it gets darker here and it goes lighter here. I think that will lead the eye to the face. Added some gradients on these stacks here, the same intention to go from dark to the face, so that again it's another more guiding lines and converging lines to the face, to the central focal point. And then I added a pupil. I don't know if Tyranids have pupils or not, but I thought that might be interesting. And then I darkened this area of the chitin around the head to help the face pop a bit more and to separate it. And then I added some glow around the eyes. I added some veins on the back of the head. I thought that would be a nice kind of flourish. It would tickle the eyes a bit. And then I added some kind of interesting kind of lightning texture on the tongue that could maybe imply like some kind of bioplasma or some kind of crazy organic stuff going on. And then I also I painted the teeth in more of like a kind of an ochre tan color, so that I thought it was just too similar to the rest of the skin before. There's no real contrast, or just very minimal. So then I also like painted some specular reflections on it, and then deepened the contrast in the recesses of the mouth. And then I darkened the area around the neck just to help separate the head even more. Just because before I feel like there's just not enough contrast on the head area. But yeah, I would just, just embellish it, push it even further. But I think overall this is a really nice model. I think it's always interesting to see what the designers were thinking, what the Evan Metal team was, how they paint things, maybe how could I apply this to my own work, maybe thinking more about gradients and the contrast of gradients and textures and things like that. I think it's always good to just push yourself and just study other work and then apply it to your own and think about the big picture kind of compositional things that you can apply to all of your work, not just a Tyranid model. So for instance, we can see a pattern in the value structure of this swatch breakdown. So we can see about 2/3 are in the lighter category. So it's a higher key kind of paint scheme because it's in the lighter kind of warmer temperature range. And then there's accents of darker color for contrast. So we can see there's a hierarchy of values going from lighter, majority's lighter, and then accents of darker. So you can apply that to any model, like say Space Marine. You could use these colors on a Space Marine in these proportions and it would still work visually. Because, I think you'll notice that there's just certain trends in art or visuals that most artists tend to subscribe to because it creates harmony and it creates priority and focus and visual interest while avoiding like visual chaos. So there's a nice balance there. So this has been my 2 cents on this new reveal. Would love to hear what you guys think of this paint over in my breakdown. Do you think I'm on point? Do you think this is a nice paint over? Do Tyranids have pupils? Please let me know in the comments below. Would love to hear your feedback. If you like my content, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.